Now talk about a blooming nightmare. Alright, this wire down here is coming from the rear battery, which is down back underneath the van. And it comes all the way up to here. The ground is just grounded back there. Alright, so it's chassis grounded. This is the relay. When this is pushed in, that's down, and now that rear battery is disconnected. However, I still have juice going up to here, which feeds over to there, which goes to that fuse box over there, which feeds in a lot of other stuff, which is down underneath there. That's all irrelevant. This one, I really don't know where the hell that one goes. That also goes over here. And back, and down. I ain't worried about that one. I'm not going to get sidetracked. I want to get this done. So meanwhile, I was going to disconnect this. And then at that point, you know, tie all these together. But I might as well just leave this here. And I'll just keep it like that. So it's on all the time. And this wire goes down, under, and believe it or not, up under all this stuff. So, not under this, but under. So what I'm going to do is probably drill a hole here someplace, back here someplace, or underneath and get it under the seat. I can do that too, I guess. Doesn't make a difference. I'm going to drill 2 holes wherever it's the most easiest, or 1 hole, big enough for that 4 gauge to come up and go back down. So basically it's going to come up. I'm going to have a switch here so I can switch it and then go back down. So the switch is going to open and close that wire. Now I can very easily do it with a relay, but I don't have any heavy relays. And I really don't want to put a relay up underneath the truck because I have nothing to really seal it up and keep it from the elements. So I'd rather have my connections inside. And if I'm going to bring them up here anyway, I might as well just put the switch up here. So let me go figure out what I need to get as far as drills. Let me get something to lay on, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I was able to drill 2 holes right here. Now again, this is a work truck for me. You know, it's an everyday driver. Yeah, holes here and there don't bother me. However, I will definitely put some sealant around there, and I'd also have to put a ring in there because there's going to be 2 lines coming, hot lines coming through there. So at that point, I want to make sure that they don't rub and short out. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go inside now, get some wire, get the switch, and get some grommets and silicone, and see what else I have to do, because the wire that's underneath isn't quite long enough to bring up. So I'm going to have to cut that wire, bang them together, extend them basically, and at that point put some good crimp on it. I think I do have some 4 gauge crimps with glue and weather resistant, so I'll take care of that and I'll be right back. Alright, so to make life easier, I put that under there, it's a little ramp, so I can get my big ass under the van easier. I was able to get under it, but being able to get under it and work are 2 different stories. Plus, the back. Alright. So this is where I'm at. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with the darkness here, but there's 2 holes. There's the red wire that runs back to the rear battery. It's all gumped in and where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to cut that wire because it's not long enough. And then I have these heavy duty 4 gauge connectors, and then I have this heavy duty heat shrink, so I can shrink those in, and then I'll just glob the crap out of it with silicone. Alright, and then at that point I should be okay. So there is power on that wire coming from the rear battery. The front battery shut off, but the rear battery's connected. There is a fuse back there, however. If you're running a long wire along the frame, like in my case, the battery in the back and a battery in the front, this wire, I wanted to, if there was a short on either end, I wanted to blow the fuse and disconnect. So there's a large fuse in the back, I think it's an 80, about a foot away from the battery, if that, and there's another fuse up front that I showed you, which is about maybe 7 or 8 inches from the breaker, and then there's the breaker itself. So if this wire was to short out on either end, it would blow so that the wire is not hot, because I don't want it to have a hot wire here that may short out and be sparking against something. You know, it blew one side of the breaker, but it didn't blow the other side. So at this point, when it blows, and I don't have to worry about having a hot wire dangling around under there. If that makes any sense to you. It made sense to me at the time. Like that. See? Yeah. Okay, now. Hold on a minute. I need 2 hands for this. Either that or I gotta get a sharper pair of cutters. I think I need a proper pair of cutters. These cutters are about at it. Alright, now that's cut. Now the only side that's hot at this point, let me pick it back off the ground. There. Now this one here is the only side that's really hot. The other side is not, because the breaker is disconnected. It's open, so it's not connected. So what I'm going to do now is feed the wire through the hole and get everything more or less in place before I even think about hooking them up, because I don't want any hot leads floating around on the top side. So I'm going to put that through the hole. I can always drop the grommet down from the top, so I'm not worried about that. So that one's fed. I will feed this one. Okay, and that one's fed. Okay, now I'm going to get myself up top and get those connected so I don't have to worry about them short out. I hook them up down here. Boy, it's tough when your back giving up. And this is a new spot. Well, it's not a new spot, it's just that, you know, it's not where the surgery was. Let's put it that way. Okay, so now here are my 2 wires. So I'm going to strip these down. I'm going to put the connectors on them, crimp them down, put a little heat shrink on them, get this in. And this is going to go here. I'll loosen that wire up so I can drop that. That's just a ground. And this will actually sit right there for me, so I can just reach down and snatch it and turn it on or off whenever I want. Actually, I can get right around that wire. That wire's not going to bother me. So, okay, I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so let me get some of this done and I'll be right back. Okay, so these are just on there with the with the nuts just hanging on. They're not tight by no means. I just didn't want these to be flopping around up here once I connect them to power down below. So that's what I did. That's where it'll be. So when it's on, that disconnects, that connects. So I can run it either way I want, whenever I want, turn the back battery on or off, and we're basically done. So now I gotta get up underneath and finish up under there, now that I know up here is safe. So I need some strippers, I need some heat shrink. Did I bring the torch? I did. I brought the torch, and I get my ass under there and see what I come up with. Oh, meanwhile I'm sucking down some raspberry tea. Oh, whew. Oh, oh, boy, I am not in the shape. Can't work with the way you want to work. So it's only normal for it to act up and not fit the way you want it to fit. There. Okay. Let's see if this takes care of it. It should. I don't know if I showed you what I was using here for these connectors. They're not a crimp. They're a good screw up. Good. Am I showing? Am I on? Yeah, okay. That's the connector I'm using. If you can see it or not. Focus. There you go. And they're really, and plus they're aluminum, so they really don't want to. They're not going to screw up any too much. Now I got to deal with that one up in there. That's going to be the pain in the ass one. Luckily it's not hot, but I still have to get up there in there to strip it down. All right, guys, I'm going to shut you down for a minute. Okay, just checking the voltage to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. Make sure everything is copacetic. I should have checked the switch first to make sure it wasn't a bad switch beforehand, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the ground and try to hold the camera. Yeah, well, this is going to work. And put this on the positive. Now we should have voltage down here because this is coming from the forward battery. And I do. I have 12.28, and that's about right. Let me see. Yep, that's about right. Okay. Now I should have nothing up here, which I don't. 0 voltage. If I click this, now I got it. Now we're connected to that, and we're all set.